Hey, this is Stuart. The Super Mario franchise has been a big part of my life since I could remember. I was at the right age to have family get-togethers for multiplayer fun. Whether it was Mario Party 4, 5, Mario Kart Double Dash, or even games that featured him such as Super Smash Bros. Melee and Brawl. Something about his games just drew me in. The colorful cast of characters, music that will get stuck in your head, or the simple yet creative level designs. I always had him and his world on my mind. That's not Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. That's Mario. My obsession for this series was immense. You remember those Willy Wonka Nerds candies? My cousin and I called them Yoshi eggs. In fact, as a kid, I saw a helicopter in the sky and I mistook it for a shooting star. I closed my eyes, put my hands together, and I made a wish. I wish Yoshis were real. Yes, this was real. But the wish never came true. I always wanted to meet the real Super Mario, and I did as a fact. Years ago at Too Many Games, I had the honor of meeting Mr. Charles Martinet, the former voice actor of Mario. I have his autograph signed and framed in my living room to prove it. I'm his pal. Interacting with your favorite characters would make anyone light up with joy, whether it's Woody from Toy Story or Spider-Man. But did you know that Mario had an interactive adventure? Interactivity has always been a major influence for all ages. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the show Dora the Explorer, where the characters ask the audience for input as they stare at the camera with their soulless eyes. Or how about the SpongeBob 4D adventure? You've been hired at the Krusty Krab, and you join SpongeBob to search for a runaway pickle.
You don't understand.
Or how about when Walter White kidnaps you? There's one product that took this creativity a step further. Introducing the Terbo, also known as the C&Say in America. Created by the company Bandai in 1988, this phone was an interactive VHS console. The idea was your favorite characters on screen would call you through their Terbo phone for help. Nothing too complex, mainly visual and number learning. Several shows were featured on this device, such as Dragon Ball Z, Gather Together, Goku's World, and Sailor Moon S, Kotade Moon Call. But the one I want to focus on is Super Mario World to Yoshi no Bōken Land, or simply Mario and Yoshi's Adventure Island. Produced by Bandai and released on August 10th, 1991, this interactive animation is based on the Super Nintendo game Super Mario World. The plot involves Mario and Luigi getting a letter from Princess Peach. She invites the brothers to Dinosaur Island. The brothers hop on a plane, but not without their handy-dandy Terbo phone.
Hello? Hello? I wanted to record a message for you to help you get settled in on your first night.
When they arrive at Dinosaur Island, there's no one in sight. That's because, the evil Bowser has kidnapped the princess and has trapped the inhabitants inside of eggs! And it's up to you and the Mario Brothers to rescue the princess and save the day.
It's a bit more exciting, a bit more challenging, a bit more graphic, a bit more colorful, a bit more realistic, a bit more levels, a bit more secret.
Directed by Masami Hata, you may recognize his work as the director of Super Mario Bros. The Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach. This animation is infamous for its ending. In that movie, the Mario Bros. Are accompanied by this dog to help rescue the princess. But at the very end, the dog reveals himself as a prince and is the one to marry Peach. Mario's left with nothing and is depressed at the end. At least we got this color scheme of Luigi in Smash Bros. Mario is voiced by Toru Furuya. You may recognize his voice as Yamcha from the Japanese dub of Dragon Ball, as well as Mario in the Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach. I understand this individual has recently been outed for serious crimes. I do not condone their actions, and that's all I really have to say at this matter. His design is based off of Super Mario World. A red hat, shirt, blue overalls with yellow buttons, white gloves, brown shoes, tan outsoles. brown hair and a black mustache.
よーし、僕ら3人力を合わせてみんなを助けよう。
Luigi is voiced by Mizushima Yu, also reprising his role from the Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach.
You don't know who this is, but I know who you are. I'm gonna fucking break your legs and kill you. Oh, fuck the Star 69.
But he's also voiced other characters, such as Nakajima from Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei, as well as Johnny Test for the Japanese dub.
すごいカンフーパワーと赤ちゃんトリケラトプスをくれたら手伝ってもいいか。
His design is also based off of Super Mario World, sporting the same colors as Mario, aside from his shirt being green and having darker hair. I wanted to bring these up because around the time, there wasn't a consistent design for the Mario Bros. Whether that be in arcades, Game & Watch handhelds, promotional art, even in America with the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. In that, Mario and Luigi have black hair, blue shirts, and red and green overalls respectively.
Princess, major trouble! King Koopa has brought a plague of Paragoombas to eat your kingdom for lunch!
Some of the phone calls ask you to guess which brother will knock out the most enemies or nab the most coins. They gloat about it too.
やったー、僕の方が2枚多い。
I think what caught me off guard the most was when Luigi had enough of Mario's antics and ran away. Mario was going to blow up Lemmy Koopa's castle.
あらら、違ったかな？
He then sends Luigi over to check it out.
なんだよもう、僕ばっかりこんなことさせられるんだから。
The castle blows up in Luigi's face, and everyone laughs at him.
兄さんなんか嫌いだー。
Mario doesn't even understand what he did wrong.
ルイージなんかほっといて。よし、先に行こう。
I'm sure everybody had their own problems growing up with siblings. Recently, I've been rewatching Better Call Saul with friends. On my end, I've been analyzing how deep and complicated Chuck and Jimmy's relationship has fallen apart.
We always end up having the same conversation, don't we?
Jimmy growing up being known as a hooligan nicknamed Slippin' Jimmy, causing numerous scams and even defecating through a sunroof, with Chuck graduating at a young age, going into law school, and co-founding the HHM law firm. Jimmy genuinely tries to do better by being Chuck's provider when he falls under an illness to electricity, as well as working in the mailroom for years under HHM. Chuck clings on to the past and doesn't want his brother to succeed.
You won't want to hear it, but this is for the best.
Instead of being proud of Jimmy for taking night classes and passing the online bar to become a lawyer, his reaction's indifferent, neither positive or negative. While this is cruel, especially at the end of Season 1 where it's revealed that Chuck has been against Jimmy behind the scenes this entire time.
What? You're not a real lawyer.
We have seen many instances of Jimmy relapsing back into his old ways. As the series goes on, we see it turn into his alternate persona, Saul Goodman. One of my favorite episodes, heck, one of my favorite lines spoken from the show, from any show, comes from the episode Chicanery. It shows the climax of the brothers' relationship.
Stealing them blind? And he gets to be a lawyer? What a sick joke! I should have stopped him when I had the chance.
And Jimmy decides to repress his emotions after important events and refuses to acknowledge that Chuck even existed.
I know what you were, what you are. People don't change. You're Slippin' Jimmy.
So when seeing Luigi telling Mario off and storming out, it makes me want to believe there are a lot of unresolved issues. Maybe as a kid, Mario went too hard playing with Luigi, pulling pranks like whoopee cushions, pies, or maybe embarrassing him in front of a childhood crush. Or maybe he just threw bombs in his face all the time, I don't know.
Felix, pick up the phone. Now, I need you to pick up the phone.
So it's a little weird at this point. Some websites have characters just labeled as supporting, while other voice actors don't have this work on their IMDb, while the voice actors for the Mario Bros. Do. I'm just going off of what the Super Mario Bros. Fan wiki mentions.
Mario, Luigi, お元気ですか?
Princess Peach is voiced by Yuriko Yamamoto. You may recognize her as Toad from the Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach, as well as Yuria from Fist of the North Star and Sora Vinsmoke from One Piece. Peach's design is interesting. In Super Mario World, she has blonde hair and blue earrings, while in this adaptation, she has red hair and earrings. I think they chose to make her hair red because of the NES Super Mario games, as well as the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. Green Yoshi is voiced by Chika Sakamoto. She's known for voicing Pulim from Street Fighter EX3, as well as Ken from Hey Bumbo. Bumbo is a talking yellow car who hatches from an egg. So there's the Yoshi and Bumbo connection. I've always liked Yoshi growing up. He would be my main pick for Mario Party 4. I remember my cousin having a plush of him that spoke. Yoshi's design is ripped almost perfectly from his artwork in Super Mario World, aside from his head and nose being slightly bigger. There's this odd scene of Yoshi being so much bigger in order to carry Mario and Luigi. I do like that he can call you on the phone.
Hello, Chris. This is Matthew, Casey's father.
Yoshi, また君の友達かな?
First introduced as a wee babby, Red Yoshi is voiced by Iku Otani. She's probably the most recognized in this cast. Most famously is Pikachu. She also voices Chopper for One Piece, Morgana from Persona 5, Data and Bonbon from Mega Man Legends, and Zatch from Zatch Bell. He lacks a pouch and scales, however, he unleashes his inner Scrappy-Doo and wants to join the team. The trio obviously protest, telling him to go home. Horrifyingly, Red Yoshi eats a bunch of paratroopers alive, and then grows into an adult. This reminds me of that one Xbox commercial where the mother gives birth to her son, but he gets launched out of a window, ages rapidly, and dies. Red Yoshi may seem like a strange pick for this cast, but he has an important role in comforting Luigi at his lowest, claiming if Luigi doesn't come back to help Mario, he will be sad. And you don't want the voice of Pikachu to be sad now, do you?
Pikachu.
Last but not least is Bowser, who's voiced by Takeshi Watabe. You may know him as Gamabuda from Naruto. He also voices Muchi Mochi from Dragon Ball GT. Bowser's design is interesting. His official artwork, aside from having a classic YouTuber thumbnail, is the main inspiration. However, his mouth is based off of his in-game sprite, being orange like skin, or scales. This reminds me of the partially found Mario traffic safety video, in which Bowser's mostly green, which is heavily inspired by his NES in-game design. The changed color in his mouth also reminds me of the one minigame from Mario Party 4. I think it was the fruit minigame, but I always remembered pointing out to my cousins that his mouth changed color. The seeds were planting like a decade or so in advance, I swear to you. While this is less than 30 minutes, the show does a good job at condensing the major areas of Super Mario World. Donut Plains, Encounter with the Koopalings, the Ghost House, Forest of Illusion, the castle level, ship, and finally, the fight with Bowser. I think my biggest complaint has got to be the animation errors. If you look close enough at some of your favorite shows, you're bound to notice a few things colored in wrong. Poses are strange, things may be missing from characters, and so on. But these errors occur right after the viewer answers questions from the team. Like this, for example. Luigi and Yoshi need to push a switch. Each colored switch matches with the colored block shown. Out of these three switches, which would you pick? Now, if you guessed green, you'd be right. However, they push the yellow switch instead, and the yellow blocks show up. I do find it hilarious when the remaining Koopalings are shown. We see that Lemmy Koopaling is visible in the back left. However, he gets replaced by Larry afterwards. Where did he go? It was even in the back of the VHS. The anime ends with the gang defeating Bowser, rescuing the princess and the other Yoshis. They all go to Yoshi's Island to celebrate. But as far as we know, Mario and Luigi are hogging all the food. To conclude, I think this is worth watching. I'll provide a link to the video in the description. Just keep in mind to click the closed captions box for English subtitles. I always love discovering obscure Mario media, so maybe in the future I could talk about more interesting findings. Thank you all for watching.
You think my suffering is a joke?
Jack Bros!
Gather around, kids. It's time for a story. A traveler has just sent out his demons to play. The traveler just wants to relax for the day. The demons were playing kick the ball. The demons were playing from big to small. Kick, kick, the ball went forth. Kick, kick, from south to north. The demons were playing for fun, you see. The demons were playing, except for me. Could you please stop being so mean to me? The little Jack Frost said with a plea. Your face looks so silly, horns are too long. It seems that these demons couldn't get along. Pull, pull, to Jack's dismay. Pull, pull, they wouldn't go away. Jack Frost had enough. He couldn't bear more. This is something that I should have done before. Jack ran off. He had to flee. When I tell the traveler, he will have to agree. Jack spoke to the traveler, leaving no detail untold. I will make sure there will be a scold. Let this be a lesson to the viewers at home. Stand up for yourself. You're not alone. Let a guardian know. Become the pioneers.
But what if those cries were to fall on deaf ears?
Today's episode is brought to you by the letter G and by the number 3. See you next time.